Beautiful. You know, sometimes it amazes me just how much reach these videos actually get around here. Earlier in the week, I was leaving the office, and someone was coming up to me at the train station and said, "Hey, you're the Wandering Yuki." So it's like, somehow people watch this. I know it gets coverage, but just the sense that someone could spot me at random when I'm downtown at work, it's just kind of funny. But anyways, that's another story for another time. Welcome to another edition of the Wandering Yuki Cheese Cafe. I'm recording this on May 4th, which is technically Star Wars Day because you would say May the 4th be with you and etc. But that's only if you're going to be feeling very nerdy. The other beauty of this is that a lot of places right now are installing their terraces. So right now, I figured I would go to the Plateau Mont-Royal because I knew there's no shortage of places that would have their patios all set up. Currently over at Chez Baptiste, a place I've visited a number of times whenever I come around here. I usually like to get their house blonde, which is a bit like a skunky 50, but I decided to go for something a little bit different. Perroquet, or a parakeet. It's from Duluth Ave, aka the Devil's Hole. And what it is, it's a session New England IPA, so it's like you want to have a taste of a New England IPA, but not really have the strength of it, like 6% upwards. This is only 3.5%. It's something that you can enjoy while you're sitting on the patio in case you want to do something else later on. Cheers, everybody. And it's glorious. But something else I've been thinking about too is that, oh, what am I saying? I'm just doing it right now. But one beauty of today is that it's warm enough that I actually don't have to wear a heavy layer of jacket. I'm able to just walk around the blazer, and it's a beauty. The only thing I'm kind of wondering though is, I have my wireless mic that I'm able to hook up on here. If I'm going to be doing this over the summer, I'm probably not going to be wearing a coat, so I might have to think of something else to do to be able to hook this up. But I suppose I can figure that out down the road. We'll worry about it later. Today we're just going to enjoy the beer and then see where we go from there. But before we do that, I think you know exactly what to do. Hit that subscribe button below and put your notification bell on. That way, if ever you get a pop-up on your phone, it's going to let you know there's a new video ready to view. And give me a thumbs up already. The more likes I get on this channel, the more things are promoted. So you're helping me get promoted more than you realize, especially to random people in Montreal who intercept me at train stations. So one of the reasons I enjoy coming here is because if I was to be sitting on the inside, it does have a very nice rustic vibe, which kind of makes sense because looking at the sign up here, it does say that this place was established in 1922. So technically it means that this bar is, if it's correct, it's over 100 years old and still standing to this day. That's one of the reasons. Second reason that I like the patio here, because right now it's already installed in a really large part of the sidewalk. Eventually they might extend it even outward once this becomes a pedestrian-only street, so it does give you a nice view of everything, the sights, the sounds of the city. But the other thing is that it's all microbrewery beers that they have here, so despite the fact that it looks like the kind of bar that your dad or your granddad would be sitting in, it does have a nice variety of stuff, like a whole bunch of Quebec beers. They make a few of their own, but you never know what else you're going to find. And sometimes they do have some rotation here. And I feel like it's a rotation that applies also to the Masson location. I've been there before. I don't think I've documented that on the channel yet, so maybe eventually when I do a full episode back on Masson, I should go back there. But that one is actually one of the newer locations. Like I want to say 2010 is when it's established. So that one is not as it doesn't have the longevity of this place. But Masson, love that spot. Super nice beer, easy going, but just enough so I can save some room for later on. You probably noticed in the montage I was a bit further on Mont-Royal Avenue, if you're familiar with the area. And the reason is that I was originally going to go to the West Shepherd pub that's over here. Covered it a few times, and I've actually had their stuff over at the Verdun Social, which if you want to see that, I'm going to put a card in the top right corner so you can see my very first visit to Wellington Street in Verdun. Great terraces, great selection of stuff, and etc. But the West Shepherd pub here was closed at the moment, so I thought go for a classic and then make my way elsewhere. So I was kind of debating to myself because one of the issues with trying to improvise an episode for myself is that sometimes I don't always have a set destination I can work from. But And luckily, I'm not that far off from Saint Laurent Boulevard, which is fertile ground for me because there's always no shortage of stuff that I'd be able to work around. It's just a question of what do I feel like having and what do I feel like drinking now. I'm kind of wondering, do I have a montage in mind?
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes, watching the ships roll in, then I'll watch them roll away again. Yeah. I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Resto. I've had nothing to live for. Look like nothing's gonna come my way. So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Look like nothing's gonna change. Everything still remains the same. I can't do what 10 people tell me to do, so I guess I'll remain the same. Sitting here resting my bones, and this loneliness won't leave me alone. It's 2,000 miles I roam just to make this drop my home. Now I'm just gonna sit.
So not only did I end up on Saint Laurent Boulevard, I also made my way onto Duluth Avenue because I realized that of all the places around here, this is actually another street that I haven't really shown off too much. I've done a few episodes around here, like whenever I go to visit Le Reservoir for a pint or two, but I did come here like August 2022 for some tartare. There's a little place called the MTL Bar that's on the corner of Duluth and St. Hubert Street. So actually, if you want to see that one again, I'm going to put a card in the top right corner for you to watch. And this spot is like Mollie. It seems like it's a nice sit-down restaurant slash bar, and they have a pretty decent selection of like liquors. The food looks pretty nice, and a very small section of beers, and it gave me a good opportunity to try something brand new. So this thing is from the Brasseur RJ, which is the one that makes a Belle Gueule beer that was established in 1988. So we're talking about Quebec microbreweries before the microbrewery scene really started to take off. And this one is the Death Valley Double IPA. Yeah, like I'm a coyote who's ready to fall off a cliff. But this thing is a double IPA, so it's a bit more hoppy than it would be in a New England IPA. The other catch too is I believe that this one is 8%, so it's definitely going to be a bit on the strong side. Anyways, cheers to a brand new discovery and enjoying the terrasse while it's still here. Yeah, it's definitely a different taste. And because it's an 8%er, you can definitely taste the strength of that. It's a good one. And yes, I did show it off like ages and ages ago on the channel, but I had a can at home. And I think this was like during the second wave of the pandemic or third wave. Like I lost track of how many they were. And I was having a pint of that while I had Yoshi sitting right beside me. Good times. Yoshi. Yeah, it's a good beer, but once again, I really want to take my time with this just because it's a pretty strong one, like more strong than I'm accustomed to. Even though I do share a few of the stronger beers on my channel from time to time. So I probably mentioned a lot about Duluth, but it's one part that I kind of walked by years ago when we were doing some record shopping. Like on St. Denis Street, there was Beatnik Records. Actually, it's still over there. There was also Primitive that closed down. And I know I've mentioned that a number of times. But what we would do is we would end up walking on Duluth just to pass by a little bit, and then eventually go on to Saint Laurent, Saint Dermot to get back down to Place des Arts to get into downtown to get back home. So again, I kind of walked by here. I just never really stopped to explore it until probably last year. And I want to say too that another reason I'm looking around this part is I'm learning more and more about my family's history, because this part of the plateau, I feel like if I go further south towards Napoleon, then I would probably be able to get to around where my grandparents were living at the time, like probably their third apartment when they came to Montreal before moving into St. Leonard. So that's always kind of fun to explore. Oh yes, that episode. I know I mentioned time and time again, but I'm going to do it once more. Click the card in the top right corner, and then you'll be able to revisit me, revisiting the footsteps of my father from when he was born here, all the apartments that he lived around, and then checking out St. Leonard, where I kind of knew where my grandparents were living at that time. So that was a fun, if a little bit of an emotional one, but it was always a pleasure to put together. I'm going to ration this up and obviously have some hydration too before my meal comes. As for the meal, stay tuned. Supper has just arrived, so if you're wondering what that is, obviously it's a burger, but I thought I'd do something a little bit different today, because I usually get beef burgers, but I saw on the menu that they have a bison burger, or they have a vegetarian burger, which, you know, it gives you options. Bison, I don't think I've ever shown up before, and I had to look it up, because whenever I think bison, I think buffalo for some reason, but apparently buffalo is different from bison. Like, bison's a bit more related to cattle. At least that's my quick takeaway of research before I record this, because I'm sure there are people watching this that know this kind of food better than me, so leave it in the comments and let me know what you think about it. And it's got the usual stuff: lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, and what they do have here is, unlike other hamburger buns, they tend to use a brioche bun for this burger. Brioche buns, compared to regular hamburger buns, use more of an enriched flour, and they taste a little bit sweeter, and some of them are going to have a little bit more of a glaze right on top, like it's going to glow, almost like it's a cinnamon bun, although it's not going to be as sweet, because cinnamon buns, you know what, that's not true. You could probably make a cinnamon bun burger, because if you're to go to the Mad Hatter's bar, they do make the Homer Simpson burger, which you can actually, it's essentially just a burger put in between the slice of donut, so people can do crazy things. Now that is delicious. And of course I'm going to have to enjoy some of the fries too, and the mayonnaise. Very nice. Simple, effective. When I was smelling the fries when they arrived, the first thing that came to mind was, it made me think of some Greek restaurants with their potato wedges and the seasoning that they use. So maybe it's something similar that they do. I don't know, just giving me flashbacks. Because whenever we did family gatherings growing up, we always end up going to a Greek restaurant. Probably because they had potatoes, they had rice in the plate, and if one of us was picky, didn't want potatoes, or the other was picky and didn't like rice, you could kind of split between the two. And the salad, nice like vinaigrette in here with maybe, I'm guessing it's like turnip pieces or carrot. Actually, I don't know what it is, but I love this vinaigrette. I'm digging it. I'm a cool cat. Son of a preacher, man. I guess that trophy just came up because it is playing right now. Why do I get the feeling I'm going to be doing my montages based on music I'm hearing along the way?
Then he looked into my eyes. Lord knows to my surprise, the only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever.
Well, ate really well. This bison burger is highly recommended if ever you come here. I did see a couple of other things like bavette on the menu. There was like a chicken Caesar salad with some mussel with fries. It's even like some kind of a grilled piece of salmon. It's a whole bunch of stuff that, you know, I thought I know how to make at home. Bison burger I haven't done yet, and it gave me something brand new to test out. And one thing I will say I do like here is just the vibe of the terrasse. Because, you know, a lot of terraces I remembered when I was, you know, going out to downtown, But if you've been downtown, like in the main core, you kind of know what kind of terrace you're getting. A lot of the ones I've heard of over here, also in Rosemont, Mile End, it's like they're very quaint. I like the vibe because this kind of feels like it's the kind of terrace you would build like in your own backyard. Like something that's very cozy, something that feels like you're just sitting at home. But one thing I do like too is seeing the garden lights that are hanging up here. So I imagine that if I was to come here at night, it would give a very cozy atmosphere. Who knows, maybe I'll come back here when it's darker, but we'll see. Oh yes, I'm still working this thing because despite the fact that I can be a quick drinker, this thing is 8% after all, so I'm not going to be going too quick with it because I just kick back, relax, and then see what I do after this. If I want, I'll get a coffee here before I hit the road, or if I really want to do a final round and hop somewhere else. I am like really close to the reservoir, so maybe I'll be able to go. Merci beaucoup. Yeah, we'll see what we end up doing. Well, like I said, very nice meal. So once again, it's a great spot to check out, and I figured I'd do a little bit of filming here to show exactly what the interior looks like, since I was on the terrace after all. I love it, and I'm gonna have to come back once again for some more food, and maybe there's another beer on the menu I could show off eventually, but once again, we'll wait and see. Now, it's still relatively early in the day, like we're talking just a little bit after 6 p.m., and I wasn't sure if I was gonna be doing a final round, but I am like a hop and a skip away from the reservoir, so I think I'm gonna partake in that. But we'll see which one I go for, or which ones, because I know they do have taster platters available.
Since I met you, I've begun to feel so strange. Every time.
Ah, crap. Well, okay, full disclosure, I thought I was recording at first, but the thing is that it seemed like I saw the auto power, so I didn't even hit record when I was doing all of my talking. So let's just start from the top once again. I came to the reservoir, as I was talking about before the montage, and the beauty is that I could come over here to be able to try a brand new beer, or I should say multiple beers, because microbreweries, what you could do is you get these 5-ounce tasters in a platter, so you get to try multiple beers at once without committing to a full pint if you don't like it, or if you want to try some brand new stuff. And because I already have 2 IPAs in me, I won't necessarily be doing IPAs again. I wanted to try something I wouldn't necessarily get on my own. First one I'm doing here is the Marzen. This one is supposed to be a German-style amber lager. These things, because they're amber, they're usually going to have like caramelized barley or caramelized malts, which make it taste a little bit sweeter. It's not for everyone, but if you dig your sugary beers, go for it. Very nice. I'm in the mood for that. And because this thing is 4.8%, it's easier to have. And anything after that double IPA is going to be easier. And the next one here is this, 6.5%. This is the American brown ale that they have here. It's supposed to be hoppy, and brown beers are going to taste nutty and maybe a bit smoother. And I learned something new recently. I always thought it's because they use nuts in the fermentation process, but thanks to looking up La Petite Bière on social media, like on Instagram and on our YouTube channel, I learned that brown beers don't necessarily have nuts. It's just the flavor that they use. So you get a little bit of knowledge all the time, because knowledge is power. Nice. And it's smooth. Next one I'm going to do is their coffee stout, 5.4%. The thing about stouts is that they're going to use like darker barleys or malts, and sometimes oatmeal in it. And essentially what they also include here is some coffee, chocolate, and vanilla in it. So if you're not a fan of coffee, you're not going to want to drink this. The only stout that you might want to drink if you don't like coffee is Guinness, because that's a smoother, easier taste. But if you do dig it, knock yourself out. Yep, tastes like a stout. Then the last last one is something else that's brand new that they call bière de coupage, which is 5.7%. I had to look that up because it's not a term that I really see as much. But on this thing, it says it's an assemblage de saison et de bière spontanée. So it seems like it's a combination of a saison and what they call a spontaneous beer. I don't know what spontaneous beer is, so I'm going to have to look up again. But it seems like that coupage, what they do is they say they take one style of beer and mix it with something else that's kind of similar. So I guess it's like a blended beer. The only thing that comes close to comparison, I believe, is like in the world of scotches, where you have your single malts, which is coming from one type of barley, and then your blended malts, which is like a blend of multiple types of barley. So I guess that's what it is. It's 5.7%. To me, just like slightly above regular, but it's something that's brand new for me. And it definitely tastes like a saison. It's like fruity, cereal-y, and once again, if Sophia's watching this, it tastes like a meating grass. Yep, I keep saying I'm going to run that joke into the ground, and I'm sticking to that. Dancing grass makes me think of Super Mario Brothers 3. Yes, very nice round that I had there, and I'm going to say that of all the 4 beers that I had, the bière de coupage was the one I liked the most, just because it was a saison, and it's one of the ones I like the best, like one of my usual styles. And I was kind of tempted earlier. I'm right across from Suzanne Bar, which is one of the spots I hit up on my Duluth run back in 2022. I thought maybe that could have been a good way to get a final round done. Obviously, because it's going to be nicer outside, then I'm going to get more tempted to want to stay out a little bit longer and enjoy the sights and sounds, especially the sights. But I'm still in top shape, and I kind of want to be recovered for tomorrow. So I think I'm just going to call it quits, find myself a little bit of a coffee, and then hit the road and enjoy my way back home. But until then, thanks for watching this latest edition of the Wanyuki Cheese Cafe. So if you like what you see, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button below and give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my wanders, my stories, my explorations, and everything else that comes with it. And if you have any ideas for future episodes, leave in the comment section. Damn motorcycles. Anyways, if you have any ideas for future episodes, leave in the comment section and I'll see if I can incorporate it one day. Till then, take care, see you next time, and na zdrowie. I guess I could say cheers like that because I am recording this episode on Orthodox Easter weekend, so that is applicable. Now, where am I going to find a coffee shop?
From sad, she says she